Hello children. Okay. Now as this is very big lesson, I have sent you many videos regarding that and we have finished till page number 205 from your social textbook, that is EVS. Okay. Now today we will start with your EVS lesson, Our India Physical Diversity, which is a social science lesson. Okay. I have explained till there. Now today we will come to our textual part, that is from page number 206. Okay, all of you, while you are watching this video, see that you open your textbook, right? Let's see what your text says. The inner walls, page number 206. The inner walls of Kolluru, Dharmasthala, Kukke Subramanya temples in Karnataka are made of wood. So what is the speciality? These temples are made of wood, right? Houses in Kashmir Valley are built using logs. Logs means what? Wooden pieces. They are made with logs. Buildings were constructed using Kadapa rock in Raichur district, Karnataka, and parts of Andhra Pradesh, right? In recent years, red granite rocks are used for the construction of buildings in Bagalkote and surroundings. Beluru and Halebeedu in Karnataka and most of the temples of Tamil Nadu are built by using soapstone. Okay, that is a different type of stone, like granite it is. So these temples are built by using soapstone. Sandstone caves temples are found in Badami of Karnataka. Okay, these are the things what they have observed and given it. You may get these for fill in the blanks. So I have already marked all these. Houses in Kashmir Valley are built using logs. Then sandstone cave temples are found in Badami of Karnataka, right? Then answer the following questions. The northern plains are fertile, give reasons. I have sent that answer. The people prefer to live in the plains of a river. Why? Make a list of the important rivers and crops of our state. Okay. Now if I sit explaining that again, it will take time. I have already explained. I have sent the question answers. Now coming to the next part, page number 207. Okay. There after the fifth point, let's see. It's very essential to maintain cleanliness in the banks of rivers. Now the rivers of India are affected by water pollution. The harmful activities of human beings destroy the sources of drinking water, which is essential for life. Okay. Now what is destructive? Because human beings, what he does? Rivers. They are destructive. They are destructed by so many things. What is that? Let's see. Rivers of India are affected by water pollution. The harmful activities of human beings destroy the sources of drinking water, which is essential for life. Why they are getting disturbed? Why they are getting disrupted? Okay, let's see. Plastic, several types of toxic waste and effluents of industries are dumped into the river water. Why are the rivers getting spoiled or why they are getting polluted? Because the plastic is thrown there in the river, so that causes a great loss. Idols or images painted with different chemical paints and immersed in the river water. Okay, this is one best example. Nowadays even we have stopped immersing Ganesha idol. After Ganesh Chaturthi, we immerse that in the water, right? But nowadays, to avoid water pollution, what we are doing? You just take a tub of water and you immerse the Ganesha idol in that to avoid the pollution of water. So this gets, due to the chemicals in that idol, it gets polluted. That is another reason. The chemical effluents which are released by industries are let into the river water. Now if you see in big cities and everything, what happens there? That the waste water from the industries, that is also left in the, where? Through the river. So the river water gets contaminated. Big cities produce a large amount of garbage in different forms, which is thrown into the rivers and the water gets contaminated. So when the dirt is flowing the river water, what happens? The water gets contaminated and there is water pollution. Mining activities also cause pollution of rivers. For example, river of Kali, Bhadra, etc. Okay. Now there is a short activity on page number 207. The Ganga river water cleaning program is under progress. Is it not correct to do this? What are the benefits of cleaning river water right here? So there is an activity for you. Is cleaning a good process? Yes, of course it is. So what are the benefits? The water is cleaned, you get better water and the contamination of the water is stopped. Okay. Now the next part. Now we are finished with northern mountains and the plains. Now the third region of in the physical diversity of India, we are today going to study about the Peninsula Plateau. Okay, what we are going to study? We are going to study about the Peninsula Plateau, right? So open page number 208. Identify the Narmada river on the map of India. The map also is given on your in your textbook. You can just have a look at it. The Narmada Son Rift Valley divides the Peninsula Plateau into two major parts. The northern part is called as the Malwa Plateau and the southern part is called as the Deccan Plateau. Which are the two plateaus? Plateaus is a high rift, like a mountainous type it is. It's a high rift gathered landforms. Okay. So which are the two important major parts here? One in the northern parts is the Malwa Plateau and in the southern parts it is Deccan Plateau. The Aravalli range lies to the northwest of Malwa Plateau and the Vindhyas lie to the south. Mount Guru Shikhar is the highest peak in the Aravallis. In the Aravallis, which is the highest peak? Mount Guru Shikhar. Okay, mark that as the fill in the blank. The Satpura, Maikala, Rajmahal, Amarakantaka ranges lie to the north of Deccan Plateau. The western Ghats are in the west and the eastern Ghats are in the east. The Annamalai Cardamom and Palni Hills to the south of western Ghats. Palni Hills, it is a beautiful hill station there. I think to the west, but very nice it is. The western Ghats and the eastern Ghats meet at the Nilgiri Hills. Udagamandala, Ooty, a famous hill station, is situated here. Many rivers of Peninsula India have their source in the western Ghats. So what is the location? Now as per the location in your map, you can see here. Okay, in the peninsula. What is the peninsula? Peninsula is a land which is covered by three sides of water, right? I hope now you might have studied all that, all the definitions and all I have sent already. You might have finished studying also. Okay. Now coming to the characteristics of the plateau. What are the characteristics? What are the features of the plateau? It is an upland with an extensive, almost level surface which is bounded by steep slopes. What it is? It is an upland. Here it is upland, side it is slopes. Such area is called as plateau. This landform is an extensive area of relatively flat land. From relatively flat land it goes like this. That is the plateau there. The Deccan Plateau is the largest plateau in India. Which is the largest plateau? The Deccan Plateau. It is made up of the ancient hard rocks. Okay. So these are the characteristics of the plateau. Now coming to the advantages. The Peninsula Plateau is rich in minerals. The rivers flowing across it are helpful for the cultivation of crops. So the land is very fertile here. So it is very useful for the cultivation. Cultivation means what? Growing of crops. There are many waterfalls which are useful for the generation of hydroelectricity. So a new word here. What is hydroelectricity? Hydroelectricity. Hydro is a word that is water. So electricity is generated from the source of water or by the pressure of water. That is generated. That type of electricity is called as hydroelectricity. It is favorable for agriculture, rearing of animals and industries. Several empires also ruled in the Peninsula Plateau. The other day I had sent you an answer. Which were the empires that ruled in the northern plains? They were Mauryas and Guptas. Now here, which are the empires that ruled in the Peninsula Plateaus? They are the Rashtrakutas, Chalukyas, Hoysalas, Vijayanagaras, Kadambas, the Gangas and the Bahmani Sultans established their empires here. You will be studying more about them in the higher classes as you come to 8th and 9th. So that time you have a separate lesson for all these kingdoms, all these South Indian empires, that is the Rashtrakutas, Cholas, Chalukyas, all these were the very famous dynasties of that time. Now there are few question answers, I have forwarded that. Now coming to the fourth physical diversity, that is the coastal plains. Coastal plains. Now let us study about the coastal plains. What is a coastal plain? A coastal plain is nothing but a flat low-lying land between the coast and the higher land in the interior is called as coastal plain. Here in your map you can see this green part is called as the coastal plain. Okay, the land form here, right? India has a long coastal plain. Let us see where they are located in our country. How is the coastal plain extended? From where it is extended in the Indian map? Observe the map. The western coastal plain lies between the Western Ghats in the east and the Arabian Sea in the west. It extends from the Gulf of Kutch, Gujarat. Okay? Here from Gujarat it extends from Kutch. Okay? It is clear in your map there. The eastern coastal plain lies between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. It extends from the Gangetic Delta in the north to Kanyakumari in the south. Where is Kanyakumari? At the low tip. Okay, here it is the Kanyakumari at the low tip there, in the southern part. Both the coastal plains of India have major parts. Kandla, Gujarat, Navi Mumbai, Nhava Sheva, Maharashtra, Marmagao, Goa, New Mangaluru, Karnataka, Kochi, Kerala, Tuticorin, Chennai, Ennore, Tamil Nadu, Visakhapatnam, that is in Andhra Pradesh, Paradeep in Odisha, Haldia and Kolkata in West Bengal are the major seaports of India. Okay. Now if I ask you which are the seaports of India, you can mention any of these whichever just now I read it to you. Okay. Now New Mangaluru port ranks 9th. It is known as the gateway of Karnataka. What is known? Mangaluru is known as the gateway of Karnataka. Which place? Mangaluru. It ranks 9th and this is known as gateway of Karnataka. Okay. Right? Okay. The important features of the coastal plains. In the previous part you studied the characteristics of the peninsula plateaus. Now you are going to study the characteristics of coastal plains. Fishing is the main occupation of the people living in the coastal plains. So most of the people eat fish and prawn, spinach, ivy gourd, black-eyed peas and sambar cucumber are also eaten for food. So what are the main characteristics in the coastal plain? What is their food? Food is more of fish. Okay? In the coastal, those people are very fond of. Maybe even you too like it. Fish curry and all, right? So that is the most important and well liked by all the coastal people. Spinach is nothing but palak. Okay. So these are the few things what you have to do. Most of the people eat fish and prawn. So they are easily accessible near the sea coast. So that becomes their food. Always what happens when you make your favorite food? What happens? The more availability, that becomes the taste of that particular area. Same thing happens in the coastal area too. Paddy, arecanut, coconut, cashew nut, cardamom, banana and vegetables are grown here. So even these things are very popular and more accessible in the coastal area, especially banana, then arecanut and what you call it as supari adiki. All these things what are there, they are mostly found in coastal area, right? The use of boiled rice is very popular. Now how you like basmati, that rice, this rice, sona masuri and all. Usually the coastal people, what type of rice they eat? They eat the boiled rice which you use for idli and dosa, right? We do not like that because we are accustomed to this type of food. Okay, people in coastal, they prefer boiled rice to eat. The houses here have steep sloping roofs due to heavy rain. So the rain also, when it rains, it is very heavy in the coastal. For example, you might have seen here in Ankola, Kumta and all, during rainy season, at least we can see sunshine once in a while. But these people, they are unable to see because they go through a very heavy rainfall. Okay, so these are the main features of the coastal plains, right? Okay, now there are few question answers that also I will forward it to you, because let us not waste time in writing those question answers here online. Let us finish with the lesson. The gently sloping strip of land bordering the sea, usually composed of sand and gravel, is called beach. So what is a beach? You all might have visited Goa beach and all, right? The what land? Sloping strip of land after the seas. That sloping, for example, this is the sea end. Yes. So this end where there is a sloping land, that is called as a beach, right? So Kalangut beach in Goa. So many examples are there. You also can find out something where you find and you go for your holidays, right? You can watch the sea as far as you can. The striking sea waves bring great delight to your mind and eyes. Yeah, I do love the oceans and seas very much. The waves coming there, it gives delight. You are very happy to be on the seashore or on the beach. Usually we plan holidays there. Now due to COVID, I think no one has planned for any holidays. So once we are normal with the conditions. So where we have to go to enjoy yourself, you can go to the beaches, right? The Ullal, Malpe, Kapo, Om and Maravanti beaches of Karnataka are attractive and beautiful. Which are the other famous beaches of India? No, and right here. So I think, I don't know whether your elder brothers, sisters were here. That time we had taken them for picnic also to most of these beaches. Om beach and Maravanti beach. We have all visited through school. Okay, once you grow up, even by then if the conditions are good, let us go for a picnic to which beach? Om beach or Maravanti beach, which is very near from here. Okay. The sea coasts are highways for trade and commerce. Some ports provide shelter for ships. So these are the main things what you have to remember in the coastal plains of India. Now the last part of your lesson is nothing but the desert of India, right? So I think we should stop here because this much of portion will be there for your third FA up till desert of India. Later I will include this chapter for your next exam. Okay, have a good day. Read the lesson again and again. Follow the question answers. Read and you will have fill in the blanks from the textbook itself. So don't complain that teacher this note was not given. Okay, you have to be thorough with the text too. Okay, have a good day. Prepare for your third FA.